Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahabhidyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vansharshibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ We will continue. I will just read again the last person. Change in the attitude, values, and the goals. For the starter, I think I get it now. It's not about what's happening externally, what anybody is doing or saying, etc. It's about the internal experience, how my mind processes and approaches life via my values. I see it now. How I am constantly doing, going, moving, and how that's never ever enough. Nothing ever gets done. This makes me think I can slow down a bit, be a bit more patient, more kind, and stop being so achievement oriented. This much we had seen. This thing will come in the next Upanishad, which I am planning to take, called Mundaka Upanishad. We'll see this in Mundaka Upanishad. Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan, having analyzed one's own achievements, one's own life. Brahmano Nirvedamayat, one develops dispassion. This statement, how am I constantly doing, going, moving, and that's never ever enough, is called discerning the Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Vairagya, generally people think that giving up the things is Vairagya. People think that running away from the situation is Vairagya. But that's not the Vairagya. Vairagya is to see that there is no connection between what I want and what I am doing. That's Vairagya. Vairagya is not an action. Vairagya is cognitive thing. Certain things you need to realize. People take Vairagya as an action. People take Vairagya as a way of life. It can be. I'm not saying it is not. But then it may not be also. Why? Vairagya is understanding the fact that there is no connection between what I am doing and what I am wanting. I want total happiness. I want total peace. I want total contentment. And that's through and I keep doing, going, moving, and all that I achieve through this going, moving, doing, etc., can never ever give me total contentment, total happiness, total satisfaction, total peace. See this fact is Vairag. In other words, what I considered to be the end, I discover it to be the means. Nothing is to be given up physically. One has to appreciate that dharma, artha, kama, all my achievements in terms of money and power and pleasure are the means for total happiness, are the means for total peace, total satisfaction, total contentment, etc. So that is called Vairagya. That's good. You are discovering. And a little unfortunate thing is that American society doesn't allow you to give up those means for good. Indian society allows us that I can give up earning, I can give up what all I need for my survival, my basic needs. Society has taken upon themselves the samskara value that they support the person who has a vairagya. So you may have to work for some time. You may have to earn your bread and earn your survival. But then I should be clear that this is a means for survival, not the means for moksha, not the means for total happiness, not the means for total contentment, not the means for total peace. Keep doing what is to be done with this clarity. That is Vairagya. It's good. That's good that you may slow down and be more patient and kind. That's true. Rather than achievement, there is nothing wrong even being achievement oriented, provided I am clear that what I am going to achieve is not going to solve my problem. Since I have time and resources, I can work for it. And provided your mind is committed to or remains in the awareness of this wisdom. You see, Swamis also have their projects. With Swami Dayananda also had a project, huge ones. But the difference is the mind was all the time aware about the true nature of the self, aware about the realities of the world and Ishvara, and had a proper attitude toward the things and beings, and then continue working. Okay? So there is, but it's difficult during our period when you are trying to own up the knowledge. So it's good to slow down. It's good to have leisure, both external and internal leisure. External leisure in terms of this time available, and internal leisure in terms of mind available. Otherwise, you get so tired and fatigued with the work that when you come home, you don't have any energy left to contemplate. So that's good. This is my huge aha moment this week. Knowledge is immediate through proper pramana. And if I don't learn in this moment, then there is another obstacle that needs to be addressed, though right thinking or right lifestyle. I have always acquired information, taking notes, not paying full attention now, etc., because I can sit down and learn it later. But later never comes. And therefore, I don't actually gain knowledge. I think this has something to do with America's approach of learning. We hoard things out of insecurity so that we will have them later. You, you need not say I gathered information. Okay? You did gather some knowledge. That's why you continue. What did not happen is assimilation could not take place. You didn't have leisure for mananam and nididhyasana. Either way, physical time is not available or mental time is not available. But then knowledge is certainly gained. And since you gained, every time you kept seeing the truth, whatever you learned, you could see that. That itself motivated you to continue next time. Fact that you are continuing, there is some knowledge, but it needs to be assimilated, needs to be owned up. Never ever think that true, there may be a tendency to note down and keep it there, and it like, this is, I call it WhatsApp psychology. Some of the WhatsApp messages you get, you don't delete it, thinking that it would be useful in future, or thinking that I will make a folder, some good messages, inspirational messages, some life stories, some motivational. You feel that I'll make a folder in the mobile and then use them later, but that later never comes. And that's why these companies are making phone calls of more higher memories. In those days, we could survive with the 8 GB memory. And now 256 GB is also questionable because we keep holding, thinking that I'll do it later. No, you have to address now. That's fine that you gathered the things for future reference, but one has to find some time for oneself, that I sit with myself and do this. Therefore, some niyama, some rules in the life. Indian society and gurus give niyamas that this much japa you one must do, this you should never do, this you must do. These do's and don'ts helps you to discipline yourself and helps you to avoid procrastinations, avoiding the things for future. So it's better to find some more time other than the class time that I will go through the notes. I will go through this and make a note of it myself and think about it, etc. Manana Nidyasanam is necessary. I am more willing to surrender, to allow for more objectivity, to admit my failings. That's a big change. And that's a very good sign of progress when you are ready to admit your failings. It requires a tremendous courage. I often say that Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi became Mahatma Gandhi, not Mohandas, Mahatma, because he admitted his failings publicly. He admitted his wrongdoings publicly and he corrected himself. The first step of a change is I accept my limitations or my failings. In each one of us, there is a tendency called as defense mechanism, trying to justify, trying to prove, trying to show my helplessness, or trying to prove that I committed a mistake. What else can I do? I was helpless. So there is always people defend, no, it was like this, therefore I did it, justifying how it happened. Whether that or that, this or that, when I see my failings, I can correct myself. So that's good. And this is also a big jump that there is a willingness to surrender to Ishvara. The Ishvara, that is an order. And that willingness will give you relaxation. As I said yesterday, relax in the lap of Ishvara. That is order, lap of order. That's good. I see how the golden rule can work here. If this whole thing is truly non dual, then hurting another only hurts myself. So I don't do unto others what I wouldn't want done to me. I am conscious of this thought most of the days. That's true. Here there is a fine line of difference, a finer understanding about non duality is necessary. It has nothing to do what you resolve, okay? And that's correct. You don't do unto others what you don't want done to you. That is a golden rule. But when we talk of non-duality, we are not talking of non-duality at physical level. This statement is true, but you cannot extend that. When I am hurting someone, there is then another, then hurting another only hurts myself. That's good to think, but not true. Because if you don't hurt another one, and therefore you should, you should not hurt anyone. That's good. But saying that hurting another is hurting myself, that means every moment you get hurt. Because somebody somewhere is getting hurt, accidentally or deliberately. So you keep all the time getting hurt. That's not true. Physically, differences will remain, duality. But this is an order of behavior, like physical order, chemical order, biological order, psychological order. This is behavioral order. I do unto others what I want others to do unto me. I don't do unto others what I don't want others to do unto me. That's a behavioral order. How should I be conducting myself? That's an order, or you can say guideline for exercising your free will. This rule is not necessary for animals because they are programmed, they are choiceless. But in case of human being, we have our own choices and freedom over our actions. So the law of behavior, law of human life, human conduct is I don't do. That is the basis for the values. All the values can be followed if you are aware about this fact. Not only ahimsa, not hurting, but speaking truth also will come from this. In fact, there is, this is important, how our Shastra interpret. When they say Satyam Vada, and they translate, speak truth. But Shastra doesn't mean, and we have not to speak truth. Whenever Shastra says something to do this, they say only because there is a possibility to do otherwise. If there is no possibility to do otherwise, they need not tell. They never tell that eat with your mouth because you can't eat with the nose. They don't say breathe with the nose only because you breathe with the nose only. So there is a possibility of not speaking truth. So Satyam Vada, Shankaracharya defines, what does it mean? Anruta Varjitam. Not to speak untruth and speak what it is Satyam. So, and when there is a tendency to speak untruth, the same matrix applies. When you say, if someone tells me untruth, would I want them to tell me untruth? Answer would be no. And so I'll be speaking truth. The basis of all values is this. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. Don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. Simple. And then the academicians divide these values, social values, religious values, personal values, national values, cultural values. But they are all various expressions of this basic thing with certain variations culturally, socially, etc. But that's good. That I shouldn't hurt others is based on this: do unto others what you want others to do. And our Shastras add this also. In fact, many religions add this, the concept of punya and papa. I, by, by disobeying the order of dharma, this is called order of dharma, what I said, behavioral order. Dharma means to be done. By disobeying the order of dharma, I am incurring papa. And that papa means that in future, it will bring some unpleasant result, unpleasant situations, and I'll have to pay for it. That is also basis. I am less lazy or grumpy when it comes to doing work and daily chores because I approach my day and work as my dharma and do what is to be done with more joyful attitude. That's something good. To enjoy the work is a good thing. That itself makes the life joyous. Okay? And people look for the work which they like to feel happy. But then, if one finds happiness in what is to be done, every moment is joyous. Every moment of your existence become happy. You know, it becomes natural or spontaneous expression of your existence. That's a good thing. Changes I would like to see. I don't think I am truly joyful or happy moving through my days. I don't feel as connected to others or community as I would like to be. But I think this is shifting because of the above. There may be few other reasons also. I don't know the background. Why you don't feel like connecting or as connected to society. There may be some pain of the past. There may be some insecurity that others may infringe upon you or something. Or more you like study, more you become introvert, more you don't like to chat or talk or involve unnecessarily. Sometimes you feel these meetings and chattings are unproductive, and therefore I don't want to connect. That's fine. And I also appreciate that one may not be so joyful and happy moving through the days because the Western society necessitates that you have to almost spare one third to 70% of your life for survival, money, do the job. And it's quite pressure to perform, to prove. And that doesn't give you enough leisure to contemplate on study or to enjoy what you have been doing because the society is driven by targets, more so the business. You have to perform or perish. That gives little stress. And so you may not. But that's how it is. I have no answer or solution for that in that culture, in that corporate culture. I can't change it. because there is no elbow room for mistake. There is no elbow room for mm, less than targeted performances. It's a higher and fire society. So you have to find out something where there is less pressure in the work, less to perform. And you have to run in the race also. That's another thing there. So you can station yourself at some position and earn enough for survival. That one has to find out. I would like to remember what I learn in class and apply it more. That's true, because what you learn in class is you, and that you happens to be Ananda. You know, Guru and the Guru's teachings. The teaching of Shastra is like mirror, which reflects the person in the front, which helps the person in the front to see himself or herself. That's all the job of mirror. And one thing, I mean, there are few things you are never tired of. No human being is tired of sleeping. There may be complaint in waking up. Why should I wake up so early? But nobody complains. Why should I sleep today? That no, oh, yo, today Ajay su padse. Today also I have to sleep. But there is a complaint. Today also I have to wake up. That complaint is there. Natural love for sleep. And there is one more thing. There is always a love to see myself in mirror. No one is tired of seeing himself or herself in the mirror, even if one has seen thousands of times. When we wake up, this is a modern society I'm talking. Indian traditional society didn't have these luxuries. You go to bathroom and there are all full mirrors. You see yourself. And that fellow or the lady may be Kalika Chandika without makeup and without even hairs looking in the mirror. But still they love to see how, whatever it is. The whole process, brushing the teeth onwards, till you get ready, you are not tired of seeing yourself. Similarly, immediately the person takes some breakfast and cooks something and goes out. Before going to work, again, one more time, just checks. That person or has seen himself or herself in the mirror just 1 minute ago. He was there, came to elevator. When the elevator comes, right in the front there is mirror. And they look at themselves. Nobody says, I am tired of seeing myself. Every day I see in my house and I have to see myself in the elevator. And if he or she is living on a higher floor, 40th floor or 58th, by the time it comes down, he again makes a glance about how I look. When they sit in a car, there is a rear mirror to see. Again, they adjust that every day. That adjustment is to see once myself and then put it back. I just have this and then tilt it, see myself and then put it back. Same thing in going office, same elevator, same in the break, lunch, even just uses the loo or washroom, never tired of seeing himself, herself. Now, the self that you like to see again and again in the mirror, about that self, one has thousands of complaints. He or she is dissatisfied with the hairs and the eyes and the color and the shape and everything. And the look, there is always a wish. I wish there were some more hairs or less hairs or black hairs or blonde, whatever. some desire. Now, Guru shows the self which is Purna, which is complete. So obviously, you would always love to see it again and again. You would want to see it again and again, the self, because that is complete, Purna, Ananda. Guru is helping you to see. That's why I said Guru and teaching is like a mirror which helps me, or you can say it gives me the glimpse about that Ananda Atma. You get happy about it. Oh, this is I am, etc. So it's always welcome. So I appreciate that one would like to remember what you learned in the class. Not remember, you want to reveal yourself in the teachings. Because that is happy self, Ananda Atma. That's what you're seeing. I would like to gain knowledge in the moment instead of stocking up information to learn later. It's fine. You will gain it. Okay? It's something that grows upon you. Knowledge is not one shot deal. Even COVID requires 2 shots. COVID vaccine, you have to take 2 shots. So this requires 1,000 shots minimum. So you have to attend more classes. Slowly this knowledge grows upon you. More you see, more you have moment in the class, more you assimilate. And more you assimilate, more it grows upon you. Okay? So that's okay. Earlier you said I'd like to be more patient. So be patient with yourself also. Just as we try to be patient with the others, we have to be patient with oneself also. That absorption will automatically take place. More you do Shravanam with Shraddha and with focused mind, with commitment. And of course, some Manana and Nidhyasana is required. And as I mentioned earlier, it would be good to find some quality time slot. This is my time slot wherein you can say, I have an appointment with myself. It will help you to own up this knowledge. I would like to be a better student, taking more time and effort to relax, to absorb, to study, and to practice. Why you do self-certification? Yeah. I would like to be a better student. That means you are not a better student. You have concluded. Leave that privilege to teacher. You don't certify yourself. why think that you are not? Leave it to teacher. We just put in sincere efforts. Okay. When I used to take workshop seminars for teachers and parents, and then whole day you teach, and then there is a one session for questions. Every time I receive this question, if their teachers seminar, they would say, Swamiji, what's the definition of a best student? And what's the definition of a best teacher? And when it's a parent seminar, they would ask me, Swamiji, what's a best son or a daughter in your opinion? And what's the best parents in your opinion? I always used to say that there is no best student. There can be best teacher. There is no best child. There can be best parent. That's all. You be what you are. One may have his or her own limitations. If you are living or in close proximity with the teacher or in constant touch with the teacher will take care of it. Surrender. If not, accept it. This is how I am. That's fine. You- This Shraddha is the best student, that's all. You have a Shraddha on Guru, a readiness to serve the teacher and the Shastra and the Parampara. That's it. Rest can be taken care of. Rest will follow naturally. True, being a working person, it's always good to find time to relax or to absorb and to study. That's true. One should try that also. But don't be judgmental saying, I want to be a better student. You are. Okay? That's fine. Questions and doubts. The fact that I still can't really explain to others what I am studying, learning, makes me question if I am really learning anything at all. I can't really even tell Swamiji what I have learnt. After saying so much, you are telling. Your longest is yours explanation about what you have learnt among all the students. And still you are saying that I can't explain to Swamiji. Thank God you can't explain. Had you been able to explain, you would send me a book, I guess. Not one note. I would receive a whole textbook that I will have to study to understand what this you're talking. That's okay. Don't worry. It's more important to learn rather than teach others. If you can't tell, that's fine. And it sometimes becomes difficult also because the people over there and the culture over there is diagonally opposite to what we are doing. As I had mentioned earlier, see, in the all cultures except Hindu culture, Dharma is a Purushartha by itself. They can't understand or appreciate. There is a religion, all right. There is a faith, all right. But concept of duty, this is to be done. I am expected to do this. Obligatory duties. That concept, social obligations, personal obligations, that is missing. They can't understand what we are meaning by dharma. Only and only in India, dharma is an independent purushartha. When you interpret dharma as a bhakti, prayer and religion, it cannot be, may not be purushartha. It may be subservient to arthakama. People have faith, people follow the rituals, people follow the forms for more money and more pleasure. It was subservient. It becomes a little difficult for them. And they just don't know what moksha is. They have not heard the word moksha. These two purusharthas are missing in other culture. So you may find where to start and how to explain. Simple thing can be said is both ways about Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra, that each one of us is pursuing total happiness, total self satisfaction, complete content, self contentment, peace, etc. These are all synonyms. It has nothing to do with the culture or religious belief or sex or age or nationality. That's a human urge. Purnanandasya prapti. That complete happiness or that fullness is you. That's what Shastra says. And I'm trying to discover this fact. That's all you are learning. I want to be happy. I want to gain peace. And that is me. There is a promise. And there are people who have realized this. I trust them and I'm pursuing to own up that thing. One. Secondly, as I mentioned, all of us live in our own private world. We don't live in Ishwar Srishti, which we call it, we live in a Jiva Srishti, our own world, our own values, ideals, goals, attitudes, upbringing, culture, etc. In other words, we see the world with subjective perception. Lot of subjectivity is involved in perceiving the world while relating the world. And that subjectivity alone is a cause of dukkha. What we call attachment is nothing but subjectivity, imputing extra values on some persons or something. Any kind of subjectivity makes me more unhappy. We are learning to be objective. Objective means accepting the facts as a fact. That is Yoga Shastra. You can explain them in these simple terms and then elaborate this point. Sometimes I question what I am doing here. An American in this study, I feel if it were really mine to study, realize that I would feel a lot happier, more connected to others by now, and have a studier, sturdier, more organized daily practices that rooted me in all of this. No. What you are doing, I feel, what am I doing here? You are doing the right thing. Okay? Trust the order of Ishvara. Bhagwan has brought you here, and this all is a built up Bhagavad Ichcha. Corona, internet, available in online classes, this is all Bhagavad Ichcha. Whether you are American or Brazilian or Japanese or Indian, doesn't matter. Knowledge is universal. So, that you may not feel more happier. It's okay. It may be because there is something more to assimilate. And sometimes it takes more time to assimilate. Have patience with yourself. Give the space to yourself. And that's okay. If you cannot connect to others, that's fine. It's not mandatory or it's not connected that having had a knowledge, you connect to all. Why should be? That may be prakriti, nature of your mind, maybe upbringing, or that psychological attitude, for whatever reason. It's fine. There are so many Mahatmas, many Mahatmas I know who were least connected to society. They knew what Shastra means. Classic example I'll tell you. Some of you may not have even heard the name. Puja Swami Dayanandji learnt Shastras from 2-3 teachers. Inspired and motivated, and some glimpse and vision was due to Swami Chinmayanandji. Then there was Swami Pranavanandji in Gudivada, that Swamiji learned the Pramanam, etc. And while he was staying in Rishikesh in 60s, he used to go to Kailas Ashram to study. And he studied Brahma Sutra from Swami Taranand Giri. Now, I had have a good fortune. I had a good fortune to serve Dharma. In 82, 83, 84, when I was there in Rishikesh, there were 8 Mahatmas and 3 Brahmacharis. That's all Rishikesh ashram had. And one cook and couple of servants. Along with Sudhanji, some of you might have seen Gopalanandji was there, Brajeshwaranji was there, one Malaysia Swami was there, one Kerala Swami, our Manishananda was there. They all lived in one building. And I was the youngest then. So naturally, I had a Shraddha on Mahatma, so I used to serve them, do small things, whatever they wanted me to do. And I had a good fortune to serve Tarananji. That time, sometimes Taran used to come there. He had a lot of problems with his foot, I guess, knee joints problem, and a few other. So I had to massage him, help him to sit and move and things like that. Afterwards, Swamiji asked me to go to Gujarat and teach. So I came to Rajkot, and then almost every year I used to go there. You see, Taranji loved me so much, you would be surprised to know Tarananji has visited this place. Rajkot, he came for me. But he was so not mixing what you said, connecting to society. Pardon me for saying this. I would take little liberty because he was very grandfatherly to me. He was antisocial person. Not non-social, but antisocial. Never wanted anyone to come. So when I go there, he would love me. So I would be going. That smile he would give. I express his happiness of my coming. And then he would ask me, "Kaise ho?" Before I ask him, he would ask me, "Kaise ho? How are you?" I said, "Fine, Swamiji. I'm okay." Everything is okay? He would ask another question. I would say, "Yes, Swamiji, your blessings and Ishwar Krupa, things are okay." Sab theek hai? He would ask third time. "Everything is well?" I said, "Yes." And then I would ask him, "How are you?" ऐसा ही, ठीक है. And I would ask him, "How is your knee pain?" हाँ है, it is there. फिर मैं पूछूंगा क्या ज़्यादा कम हुआ है थोड़ा. Okay. How is your foot pain? हाँ है. Otherwise body, हाँ है. Any stomach problem? No, बीच में था. In between I had some time, but it's fine. That's it. I would sit in front of him for 1 or 2 hours, no utterance. As if it was I'm in a meditation room with open eyes. He would never speak, never mixed up. Can you say that in spite of having knowledge, why he did not speak? Knowledge has nothing to do. Whether to connect to others or not. No. Ishvara has brought you here, so you need this. That's a grace. Whether you are born in any country, doesn't matter. Bhagavan wants you to study, and that's why he has given you this opportunity. Just study and relax. Okay? Let me use this American word. Be cool and enjoy. Be cool and enjoy the life as it is by studying. Okay. Next one, I feel blessed by the grace of having found in Swamiji a guru who follows the tradition of Puja Swami Dayananda. This has strengthened my practice and my discipline by establishing this twice a week teaching. Yes. I have deepened in the understanding of the Shastra, which has clear structure and meaning of the text approached by you, Swamiji. I have understood and appreciate the importance of Guru like Swamiji, and this has distance me from other sources that had confused me in the past. Thank God. Save Jesus, you are saved from these gurus also. I have happily adopted and accepted something that was previously an intellectual concept, and that is to make moksha my main goal. The teaching of Swamiji has alleviated my quarantine by being able to devote more time to study of Vedanta. I aspire to continue delving into the text that he chooses for our learning and also in practice. Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om. That's good. First of all, I never knew that you had to go through that quarantine period. But Vedanta became a big help then. I am happy. Bhagavan has forced you to do Nididhyasanam and Mananam. Sometimes the blessings, the curse is a blessing. Now question is, Swamiji, can you expand the concept of Turiya, please? Is that the liberated state? Swamiji perhaps can guide us in understanding and deepening in the practice of Vedanta like Nididhyasana. Thank you for being our teacher. Namaste. This Turiya is what you mentioned. Swamiji, your teaching I appreciate the importance of Guru now, like Swamiji, and this has distanced me from other sources that confused me. This is the Turiya is a hangover of that confusion, like this hangover, Turiya is also a hangover. The word needs to be defined before being used. Whoever taught you should have made sure that it doesn't create confusion. Words should be used and explained so well that at the best it should not leave any room for doubt and should make it clear to the student. If not, sure that it may not create further confusion. Anyway, still I will explain to you. There is no state called Turiya. Neither state nor Turiya. There is nothing there. The state, the word is used in Shastra, avastha, is a figurative usage. Turiya means the fourth one, is also figurative. This is where Adhyaropa Apvada comes in. The Turiyatvam, the status of being Turiya on Atma is Adhyaropa, superimposed. In order to negate the ego, and ultimately the status of being Turiya also is to be negated. But then they use in such a way they think Turiya is ultimate. No. It is like saying Atma is Sakshi. I have explained this in the past. Atma is a witness. The status of being witness is to negate the identity, self-identity at body-mind level. When you say Sakshi of all this, that means I am not that. That's all the Tatparya is. Ultimately, the status of being Sakshi is also negated by saying the Sakshyam, what is witnessed, and the one who witnesses are not different. They are the expression of only oneself. So also Turiya word is given to negate ahankara, and ultimately the status of being Turiya also is negated. Okay? There are three states of ahankara. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. In a way of mind, an individual identifies with the mind, therefore there are three states of ahankara. An individual. I am in a waking state, my dream state, my sleep state. That I is neither of these, physio-psycho complex. I has no avastha to explain this. To show the distinction of Atma, it is called Turiya, fourth one. But there is no fourth one. When you say Ekam Eva Dvitiyam Brahma, it is non-dual. Where is the question of second? When there is no second, there is no third. Where is the question of fourth? There is no fourth also. But to distinguish or to show that you are different from these three, temporarily the status of Turiya is given to Atma. Okay? Is that the liberated state? No. To know myself, Turiya is not enough. But one has to know that Turiya is non-dual. And other three are his expression, non-separate from Turiya. So then there is liberation. Okay? Nididhyasanam. Mananam means to remove the doubts, to gain clarity. Having had the clarity, there are other problems of habitual error, or you can say emotional issues. You have to handle them. You have to resolve those issues and assimilate the knowledge. That is Mananam and Nididhyasana. Mananam means clarity about the knowledge. Nididhyasana means owning up the wisdom, assimilating the wisdom. You can say that. Habitually, I tend to identify with physio-psycho complex and reveal I consider myself as this or that. That's ultimate existence of mind. Nididhyasana means to see my ultimate existence as Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. And all this existence of wake dream state are incidental. To see this fact again and again is Nididhyasanam. What I saw at the feet of teacher or while teacher was communicating, I should be able to see it otherwise also. Okay. We will conclude this break of question answer sessions, which is going on for last 2-3 weeks. And from next week, we'll start Mundaka Upanishad. In a day or two, Nipa will upload the text and you may download it and keep a book with you. I'd be teaching with this little Shankar Bhashya also. Namaste. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.